let's talk about storytelling. Now, I find out a lot about reproductive health and my body and period from listening to other women's business. And because of that, I tell people my business. So you see that there is a trend. Talking your business can be very, very helpful, especially as we navigate our way through life living in this body. Being a woman is very, very, very challenging. And that is the reason why, as women, we have to share our stories with women that are coming up, or even just women that we meet on the way, because your story can make her story even more compelling. So talk your business! That's what we're talking about here on Everyday Period. Welcome to Everyday Period. The information shared on Everyday Period is for educational and informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider with any questions or concerns you may have regarding your health or medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay seeking it because of something you heard on this show. Your health is unique, and only a medical professional can provide personalized guidance. Everyday Period removes the stigma, the awkwardness, and the taboo from reproductive health and introduces real empowering conversations to create greater understanding. Hi, I'm Shelly-Ann, and I'll be your host and guide as we navigate the murky waters of all things reproductive health. Of course, as you can see, I'm not alone today, and that is because I've got a very interesting, wonderful guest. And of course, she's nice. So look how she's pretty. Of course, my guest is none other than Ramona Riley, who is also known as a cosmic woman. And since we're talking period stories, we're gonna get all up in her business because she has a very compelling period story to tell. And not just that, she's an expert. Yes. She's an expert on all things womb. You see what I did there? Womb, woman, cosmic woman. It's okay. You get it. But I don't want you to go anywhere because we're going to have a very, very compelling, awesome conversation with my guest, Miss Ramona Riley, cosmic woman. This is Everyday Period. Let's normalize the talk, celebrate the experience, and make periods something we're proud to discuss. Welcome to the conversation. I want to hear from you. If you have any questions or comments about the topic, or if you have a question about reproductive health generally, send us an email at embraceherflow@gmail.com. You can also like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Period TV. And just remember, we are here for you. Everyday Period is brought to you by Herflow Foundation, empowering Jamaicans one flow at a time. Everyday Period is an AP1 production. Follow Herflow on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Facebook at Herflow Foundation, and visit our website at embraceherflow.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter. Well, first of all, let me say welcome. Hi, Ramona.
Hi, darling. How are you?
I'm so good. Welcome
for having me.
Yes, man. Very, very happy to have you here at Everyday Period. But first of all, before I start talking about your business, tell the nice people who you are.
Well, yes, I am Ramona Riley, aka the Vagina Lady, owner of Cosmic Woman. I use natural methods to heal the reproductive system, men and women, but of course, the majority of my clients are women. I use holistic care, may it be treatments, may it be products, may it be meditation, to heal the reproductive system so that it can be the best version of itself. So yeah, that's what I do.
Boy, that sounds like a nice time. All of that you said just sound healing. I feel healed already.
I'm not gonna do it.
That's why I feel healed. Look at that. All right, so let us talk about your first period story. Do you remember when you had your first period?
I actually do.
Oh, tell us about it.
Okay, so I was 12. This would have been March. And I woke up the morning, and I guess for me, a lot of my friends had already had their periods.
Oh.
Okay, so I definitely was on the latter, right? I had a friend at school that she used to mess up herself a lot, and I would take the opportunity to come out of class and help her. So we would go to the nurse, she would wash it out, I would go and iron it for her and bring it back. And this would happen every single month, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so I was around periods, just never had it. So that morning I woke up at 12 and I saw blood in my underwear and I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is it. I went to my helper, I said, helper, yeah, this is what's going on. She then told my dad, she gave me a bunch of stuff. So she gave me pads, she gave me some tissue, and she said, okay, put this in. Because before I didn't have that, you know, where I'm walking around waiting for the period to come.
Right.
That wasn't a thing. So I got the stuff, I went to school. I didn't really bleed that much. I changed once, but it was more spotting than anything else. Anyway, got home, spoke to my daddy, and daddy just looked at me and I looked at him and he was like, well, I guess we need to go to the pharmacy, right? So we went to Ligonier Lane. I'll never forget. We went to Ligonier Lane Pharmacy and walked to the aisle and we just looked down both aisles and we were both confused. We didn't know what we were going to do, what I was going to get. But Kotex, I remember seeing something about Kotex and I was like, okay, let's get this one. And I got it and we went home and that was the beginning of bleeding. First 2 years of bleeding, no issue more than blood. No issue really.
No pain.
No pain. I wouldn't say I'm bloated or anything like that. It was just, I'm now bleeding.
Right.
By the time I got to that 3rd year, 4th year, 5th year, it was not the same at all. And so that's when my real period story started during that time.
What happened?
So I guess, now looking at it, I can say, okay, you know, between diet and this and that would change it. But then I didn't know that, and I don't think the majority of people that were around me even thought about that either being something that would affect the period.
Right.
But I had clots, I had bloating, I had everything after a while. I was missing school because the first 2 days were horrible. I would soak in a tub every month I had my period. Like soaking of the tub was actually a thing for me, right? So like a lot of people will do heating pads, and I did heating pad too, but there was something about the tub and me, and so that's what I did. So I went through these periods where they were very, very, very painful, and then by the time I got to college, so this would have been like my first year of college, I realized I actually had cysts, but I didn't know until they ruptured. So I'm having pain, I'm having pain during my period, I'm having pain when I'm ovulating, like I even know what that is then. And so it was almost like I was always in pain still. So that cyst erupted that first year of college.
Can you remember what that felt like?
I felt like somebody was like stabbing out my side.
Ouch.
Like literally. During the time, because I was on campus, during the time, everybody kind of thought, okay, maybe it was like my appendix that ruptured. That's what everybody was thinking.
Oh, so that must have been really painful.
It was horrible. By the time they rushed me in the ambulance, get me there, after a while, it was like, yeah, we did the ultrasound. We can see that you had a cyst on your ovary and it's ruptured. And I was like, what the heck? I was on medication, antibiotics for a long period of time because, you know, it's like pus and that kind of stuff that's in the cyst. And I don't know how large it was. You know, it could have been extremely large. So the hormonal aspect changed my period because my hormones became imbalanced, which is why as years went on, it became worse and worse and worse.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So as you progressed, as you get into adulthood, do you realize that your period changed from when it was like that period that you talk about with the cyst? Did you realize any major changes in your period as you got older?
I would say the change that I can think the most about is probably after I had children. I think there was a shift, there was a change. The pain wasn't as bad. But then after a while, the pain became worse because, of course, I had this reproductive condition, which made it worse. But in terms of just the period itself, it was much better in terms of pain after I had my first child.
That's interesting because there are a lot of women who go through different reproductive health issues and their doctor will say to them, after you have children, it will improve. You're saying you had that experience?
Yeah, I had that experience. In terms of the pain of my period, yes.
All right, well, tell us about the reproductive health issue that you mentioned just now.
Okay, so at 29, I was diagnosed with adenomyosis.
Yes, we have to spell that on the screen for Hona.
And it is actually a condition that allows the uterus lining to start to grow inside the uterus. Okay.
The endometrium.
Right. So how endometriosis would be where it's
It
the
goes on
lining
the
spreading out.
outside of the womb. Right.
This would be the inside version. Painful is not even the word.
All right, so people like to grade pain in numbers. So let us try to put it on a scale. 1 to 10, where would you say your pain
9.
level was? 9, okay.
9. And it wasn't just the period. So it was the week before the period, the period. When the period was done, it was like, oh, there's a little like freedom.
Right.
And then the next week, it's back again.
So for the month, you had 1 good week.
1 good week out of the 4 weeks.
Wow,
1 good week.
that's
right?
a lot.
But I didn't know. I thought that this was just a part of the thing, right? But then when I had a miscarriage is when they then diagnosed me because they went in to figure out why did I have this miscarriage, right? So of course, you know, basically they're just like, okay, this is the condition that you have, this is what it does, whatever. So with adenomyosis, infertility is a huge thing, right? Not necessarily that you can't get pregnant, but to stay pregnant is a thing because of, again, the uterus, inside the uterus, the lining of the uterus, everything coming inside. So it's going to affect the fetus, right? Apart from that, of course, we have the excruciating pain as well. Ovulation is a hot mess. So your ovulation pain is worse, right, than normal. Some women don't even feel anything when they're ovulating. Correct. So the week before ovulation, the week before the period, it was just a lot going on.
All right, hold on. Before you move on, I'm just trying to get a understanding of what symptoms did you experience before you got diagnosed so that they saw? I mean, you know, you have women who have issues with fibroids, PCOS, endometriosis, and your condition. Let me see if I can say it correctly. Adenomyosis, right? So, what kind of symptoms can you remember experiencing?
I would just say just the pain.
Just really bad pain.
It was just really bad pain.
Okay.
I would say that maybe my libido wasn't as high as it used to be. I mean, that could also be because by this time I had like 2 children and there was more going on. Maybe that could be it. The hormones from postpartum, that could be a part of it as well. Not really sure. But the pain was the thing.
Right.
Me.
Okay.
That was it.
Right.
But I just took it as I had known painful period before. And so I just figured this was just another part of the journey.
Right.
You know, for me.
Yes. That is so interesting because, you know, a lot of women just accept that pain comes with being woman. That a part of our life is that we just have to learn how to deal with pain. By the way, do not accept pain. Don't just medicate it away. Don't just take the 2 pill and keep it moving. We are not supposed to be living painful lives. And if you are in pain all the time, that is a symptom. Go and find out what is causing your pain.
Facts.
Anyway, tell me more.
So once I was diagnosed, of course, you know, my doctor told me a hysterectomy is just the best thing.
Of course, that's first thing on the table.
Right, that's the best thing to do. You already have 2 children. You should be so grateful that you have 2 children already. And so let's just schedule this, get this done. Yes, you'll be on some medication because, of course, if not, you're going to be going through menopause, blah, 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 blah. But this is our plan for you. Went home. Of course, you know, send me ball.
Of course.
And I'm not a bally, but I was like, what is going on?
Listen.
I felt like my whole body was failing me. You know, it was so sad. It was very sad for me. But I would say probably after about 2 months, I realized that I don't know if I really can go through this because I had already scheduled it and everything like that. And I was just like, I don't know. And I remember talking to my parents about it. I was like, you guys, I'm not sure. And they were like, just do it. So everybody around me is like, just do it. Actually, you know, my husband at the time, he was actually not. Right. He wasn't telling me what to do or what not to do, but he definitely wasn't saying, babe, you need to go and do this. Right? So I would say probably 2 months later, I decided I wasn't going to do it.
Why? What made you come to that decision?
I guess I could probably say a little fear could be involved in it, but I just felt like there must be something else.
Okay.
There cannot just be oh, you develop this thing that them don't know how you get it, but
So you
now you
just
have
pay.
it. So now what you have to do is you cut
Do
it
the
out because
surgery.
you know that you have it. So then what happens later on down? Do I get this thing again? Does this thing, like what happens? Like there was just really no information.
Right.
So it didn't make me feel any better to go run and do surgery.
Right.
Right? So that was an issue for me. So I said I wasn't going to do it. What am I going to do? I have no idea. I didn't know what my plan was going to be, but I had to figure it out. What was great was that I was living in South Carolina, and there's something about South Carolina where they're very connected to like a lot of natural things.
Right.
Like it's easy to find that community is what I should probably say.
Okay.
Right. And so I had found that community. And so I started drinking red raspberry tea, and I made it like iced tea, which was great. So I was an iced tea red raspberry girl, and I'd put some agave in it and drink it. And so I was using herbs for sure. I was always into movement,
Right.
as a dancer, as a doing different sports, that type of thing. But I started to actually dance for my womb, right? And so I did a lot of womb work and that type of thing. Again, just learning these things. I didn't even know these things existed. And I used color therapy, sound therapy, so a lot of chakra work I would work on too, focusing mostly on my sacral chakra. And 3 months later, I was pregnant. And of course, I didn't get excited about the pregnancy because I'm like, here we go again.
Yes, and you just had a miscarriage.
Just had a miscarriage, right? And the one thing about me is me easy for breed. So breed is not a thing.
You know, sir, them want to hear about you about the Ministry of Health. Jamaica has a low birth rate. I wonder if you want to help them solve that problem.
I can, and I have a lot of good eggs too.
Hey, well, we'll make the connection. There will be a fee, though. Yes.
But I didn't. The becoming pregnant did not make me get excited.
Right. You are cautious.
Extremely. So I went to the doctor, they looked around, did ultrasound, and she was like, okay, baby looks great, heartbeat's great. Yeah, it looked great. I was like, okay, so what does that mean? She's like, Ramona, to be honest with you, I don't see the adenomyosis. Like I don't see it. Like I don't. Your uterus is
Looks
beautiful.
good. Okay. So all of those things that you were doing.
Maybe it was one out of all of them. Maybe it's all of them together. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just the mindset in itself. Maybe all of the above. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's that day, like everything changed after that day, right? Because no, yes, of course, I'm pregnant and I'm excited and all of that. But it was like I actually healed myself.
Yes.
Like there was
That's
something
very empowering.
Oh, I was just about to say that there was something so empowering about it. You know, I felt like Mother Earth.
Yes.
Like that.
Yes.
So it was. So I mean, and even the pregnancy was beautiful. I continued to stay on that type of diet that I had gone on before. It had changed my life so much. I mean, there was no way that I was going to just run back into eating anything, especially just because I was pregnant.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I want to go into that a little bit because I realized that just generally across the board, I don't care what the issue it is that you're having right now, whatever the medical issue it is that you're having, making a positive change with how you treat your body works. And there are very positive results. Even if you decide to go with the surgery, go ahead and do whatever surgery it is. Even if you go ahead and do whatever treatment option that your doctor is giving you, getting a positive outlook, changing the way you eat, taking better care of your body has positive results. So tell us what things did you do that you can say like, listen, these are things that I'm going to do for life, and just tell us one. So for the rest of us who want to follow along, we can do that.
Okay, so I looked at dairy and how the body responds to dairy.
Yes.
And I totally understand why people love it.
Yes.
From a financial standpoint, it's cheaper. You can mix it in with many things. If you're doing something that's sweet, you use it. If you're doing something that is savory, you use it. It is just an ease. It's very easy and very easy to use.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The issue with that is that it creates a lot of mucus.
Yes.
Right? And some people, their body produces a lot of mucus, right? More than others. And some people's mucus, it doesn't expel, it doesn't get released. Right? And so it stays in the body. And so that becomes a problem. So mucus on a whole is going to create inflammation. Mucus on a whole is going to stop the oxygen, stop your cells from absorbing oxygen.
Correct.
Just like what gluten would do, right? And so we want to make sure that that is out of the body in terms of mucus.
Right.
So dairy, I would say, is something you want to limit, or you want to find alternatives. And there are many alternatives.
Lots of alternatives.
Right? Many alternatives for that. Another thing I would say is be gentle with the digestive system in terms of the more you have to make it work, the harder you have to make it work, is the more your reproductive system will become popped down.
Oh gosh.
Right? Because they work together. Right?
Yes, the systems work together, right?
We don't want to overwork the digestive system. So in terms of foods that are hard to digest, we want to watch that.
Like what?
So if it's different types of meats, or if it's different types of nuts, or if it's different types of veggies, whatever it is, if it's harder on the digestive system, don't do it as often.
And that is something that you would say depends on the person, or just...
I would just say across the board in people in general.
Okay.
The easier you are with your digestive system, no matter if you have an issue or you don't have an issue, your digestive system is going to respond in a positive way.
Okay.
Right? 100%. So I would recommend making sure that even like in the nights, I find that we really eat badly, right? Yes. So we eat heavy in the morning, then we eat lunch, whatever lunch is, and then dinner is another heavy thing again, right? When actually, to make our digestive system be healthier, it would be better to, as we wake up, to only do liquids for a while, 4 hours, right? Then introducing some type of solid or something if you want to do that. Then your lunch can be your largest meal, right? Because you'll have enough time to burn what it is that you need to burn. Right. And then dinner should be your lightest meal, right? Yes. So you actually shouldn't have any carbs for dinner.
Right, well, you know, Jamaicans...
Every single dinner.
Ramona, respectfully.
I know, that's not our culture.
Jamaicans eat heavy for breakfast, heavy for lunch,
heavy for snack,
heavy for dinner, because dinner have gravy and 2 meat. You understand?
Right.
So, listen, on Sundays, on certain days of the week, the dinner is a spread. Right? And we can't function without rice and peas. I don't know where you go with your carbs, no carbs for dinner, because dinner is rice and peas and meat and gravy.
So maybe what that person would need to do is they would just need to eat it earlier.
Oh,
so don't eat it at 7 p.m.
Right, so let's put a time on it. You're saying if you're gonna have a big dinner, don't have it later than?
I would say 6.
All right, so you can have a big dinner up to 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's see. Look, I'm working for y'all.
Yeah, she is.
Little balance. Right. All right. So you change the relationship with food, and you realize that you have gotten some great results. If you were to advise a young person, because remember when you were in your youth and you realized that your body was changing and you were experiencing some different symptoms, you weren't making the connection. But with what you know right now, how would you advise somebody in their teens going into their 20s who have a similar sort of symptoms that you were experiencing at that time?
So I would say pain in general during the period, we know why we're having the pain. It's the uterus that's contracting, right? When the uterus is contracting, if you are actually feeling pain, we know that something is wrong. So I don't want it to be for another woman the way it was for me, where it's like, okay, pain, it's associated with your period, this is just a part of life, and you keep it moving, right? I want to change the thought process behind that and allow younger women to understand, or girls to understand, periods are not actually supposed to be painful.
Correct.
Like at all.
Correct.
Like they're not even supposed to hurt.
Healthy periods are not painful periods.
They're not supposed to be painful, right? They're not supposed to last 7 days.
Correct.
They're not supposed to have clots. They're not supposed to have a smell. When your periods start, it's supposed to be pink, bright red, light red. Right? When it ends, if it ends a little darker, that's not so bad, but you never want it to start dark. right? Because that's old blood, right? So when we educate younger women about these types of things, it will allow them, I guess, to then say, oh, well, me have that, or me suffer from this, or you know, say me have a girlfriend who have that, right? So being aware. So what I would tell a younger girl is, if you are having any symptom in terms of period symptoms, you definitely want to look into that, even if it's just your mood. Right? Because then that can be associated with something else also.
Correct, yes.
Right? But what we want to remember is that everything starts in the gut. So she has to be aware of that also.
Yes, what we eat matters for sure. All right, well, before we wrap, I just wanna give you an opportunity to share maybe 2 or 3 things that you say, listen, I've gone through all of this and this is what I know. These are 2 things that I know. And I just want you to know as well, so that you can use this tool to improve your situation.
I would say, all right, so I would say number one, and it's not in order of importance. Number 1, I would say our pads and tampons and using them, how we're using them, what they're made of. These things affect. I would love for women to be more aware of that.
Yes.
Because then they would bleed probably less, right? Which means that their periods would be healthier, right? What else I would say? Red raspberry. Red raspberry is something that every female, let me say female, that's bleeding every month, every other month, should be on. I would recommend that 100%, and especially in Jamaica, it's very easy to find it. So I would recommend definitely those 2 things in terms of what I have been through, how my body responded, and also when I look at my clients and how their bodies respond to treatment. So yes, for sure, those would be the 2 things that I would say. And of course, a third one would probably just be gentle with yourself.
Be gentle with yourself. That's such good advice, because we had for ourselves, you know, a lot of us are feeling a lot of pain, and we still went to that job, and we are hurting all the time on the job till we find ourselves lie down on the floor with our feet up at that job, and then we get up and we get back to work. I'm talking about me. I did that. I'm guilty. I've done that in the past. So I just want to say a big thank you to Ramona. But Ramona, before you go, tell the people how they can find you.
So there are a few different ways. IG is always a great way, and that's Cosmic Womb, WOMBMAN. Phone number is 876-406-2764. I find that in Jamaica, and it's only Jamaican clients that do this, they like to send emails sometimes about it, which is it's a little weird for me. None of my clients of anywhere else in the world does that. But if email is a thing, you can do cosmicwoman@gmail.com.
Awesomeness. Thank you so much, Ramona.
Thank you.
The Vagina Lady and owner of Cosmic Woman. And we're so happy to have her on set today. And this is not the first time, the only time, I should say, this is not the only time you're going to see Ramona. So mark her face, so she's coming back. You've got a lot to talk about, because of course you can tell that she is a good resource, right? So I want to say thank you once more, Ramona. And period stories continue. We're going to have another guest with period stories, so don't miss it. We got a lot to share, a lot to learn. I certainly learned a lot from Ramona. I mean, a long time, we just figure out something about her just now. But that's the point. When we share stories, we all learn and we all benefit. Thank you so much, and thank you, Miss Ramona. Everyday Period is brought to you by Herflow Foundation. The Herflow Foundation is dedicated to improving menstrual health and addressing key social issues affecting women and girls in Jamaica. Through advocacy, education, and direct support, Herflow works to break the stigma surrounding menstruation and empower women to live healthier, more fulfilling lives. Herflow's flagship project is to end period poverty in Jamaica. Since inception, Herflow has donated over 9 million menstrual products to Jamaicans in need. To learn more about Herflow, please visit embraceherflow.com. Okay, and now it's time for my favorite part of the show. That's when I get to hear from you. It's time for Ask the Period Lady, and today, let me see who's has a... Wait a minute. I've got a question from a dude. Hi, Bruce. Bruce wants to know, how can workplaces become more period friendly for employees? Excellent question, Bruce. The first thing that workplaces need to do to become more period friendly is to provide free menstrual products in all the bathrooms for them staff. Yes, I said it. If you provide free menstrual products in the bathroom, the first thing you would realize is that you spend less money on tissue. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, whenever somebody in the office, period starts and them don't have no product, you know what them do? They go into the bathroom and them take the tissue and them roll it up like this. Roll it up tissue, see me? Watch it. And then roll it up and then make a makeshift pad and then shove it in them underwear and they go and work with that. And you know what else them do? Them get up and them go outside into the road, sit down in traffic, drive up and down, spend nearly 2 hours out there trying to find a pack of pad, and then they come back to work. You know they just lost 2 hours of productive time. So not only will you save money on tissue, you will also save time on productivity, which you know time is money in business. So you want to make sure that the products are there, so that will help the business in the long run. And just think about it, the convenience. You know how good it will feel if you work in a place where the staff knows that the employment thought about them on this level. So you know they're already having a difficult day. This work has stressed them out, and then here comes them period, and they went into the bathroom and the products are already there. They can get to do what they need to do, handle their business, and get back to work. So I think I gave you the answer. Bruce, I hope you are a business owner so you can implement that right away. Put free menstrual products in your bathroom for your staff. Trust me, you're gonna be happy, they're gonna be happy, and y'all just make some more money together, don't it? And send me some, because you know I'm always looking for more money, right? Yes, Bruce, thank you for your question. Hey, Everyday Period fam. If you're loving these real unfiltered conversations about reproductive health, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Join the movement by liking, sharing, or dropping your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. Let's keep breaking the stigma and spreading the knowledge. Periods don't stop, and neither do we. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Facebook at Herflow Foundation. And that's our show. Thank you so much for joining us this week for Everyday Period. And as I go, I want to remind you that reproductive health is not just about period or pregnancy. It's about how we take care of ourselves physically, mentally, socially, as we navigate our daily life. From puberty to menopause and everything in between, reproductive health is a major part of our overall well-being. So be kind to yourself and each other. And as you go off into the world, I just want to remind you that period is life. Yeah, I said it. I am Shelly-Ann, and I was your guide as you navigate your way through reproductive health. This is Everyday Period. Take care. Walk good. If you want to get in touch after the show, send your questions or comments to embraceherflow@gmail.com. Until next time, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Period TV. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Facebook at Herflow Foundation. Our website is embraceherflow.com, and don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter. Thanks to our production team, Ep4 and Digital Pro, for the great support, and thank you for tuning in. See you next time. Take care. Walk good.